we're fixed. Holy crud. What a way to start a stream. It wouldn't be a Sunday night stream if there wasn't a problem. But we got it going. We got to go. We're all good. All right, we're all good. So I cracked a little caffeine for this special Sunday night stream. It's just kind of fitting. We don't do streams on Sunday. Still having an issue with my OBS keeps starting up an old stream, and I don't really know why. I'm gonna have to figure that one out. We're gonna be so all of our shots tonight. We got some beer on the menu. So for any super chats and all that jazz, we'll have some beer. We'll do a full shot of that. We get a little crazier later. We got some Goldschlager. We got some vodka. We'll see. We'll see if that comes out. Tequila if we get to $100. It is what it is. We're here to have a good time tonight. And yeah, it's Q&A. That's literally it. I don't have any set topics. Nothing special. It's Labor Day weekend, which gives me time to do this stream. So we're here to have a great time, answer your questions. But first, I got to say hi to everyone who's here. Welcome. Let me get all the shout-outs going. In fact, let's do the shout-outs auto-tune style. Welcome to Armand Brian C. Then Top Lad 87 with Timothy Lee. Manuel Arroyo, Robert Schlew versus Noctis with Loki Ravenstorm. Damian Guerrero, Makey Music. Alan C. Collins with Mercurius. Angel Face, Justin Mazel, Sarah B. Caveman, Aubrey Jackson, Robo P, The Amazing Raptor, and Shadalta, the Second Mouse. Gina Baby, Alan C. Collins versus Noctis. Mitch from Florida with Dennis Easy. Beto Garcia Maltos with Ekins. Don't you see? Robert Tolan is here too. Hopefully I said hi to all of you. Yeah, I'm sure that was really bad. Justin Basil hits us with a $5 super chat. Yeah. Thank you, Justin Basil. Thank you so much, Justin Basil. I appreciate the drink on you. Good stuff. Also, I'll do another one because that Nintendo Prime bastard popped off in the chat earlier. He was complimenting that music that was slapping earlier. Oh, man, dude, that remix is sick. I just found that remix like 2 days ago, and I knew I wanted to play it on a live stream, so I figured what better than a special weekend edition since we never stream on weekends. I shouldn't say never, but it's pretty rare that we stream on a weekend, so woo! If you are drinking with me tonight, obviously drink responsibly, be of age, all that jazz. This is not your typical Nintendo Prime video. Although you could argue it's a typical Nintendo Prime stream, except I don't have set topics. So tonight is all Q&A. which means all you guys got to do is at Nintendo Prime in the chat and ask questions. It's an open floor. You can ask about my life. You can ask about the channel. You can ask about video games, the Sonic Color situation. You can ask about anything you want. I'll obviously pick and choose if I'm going to answer it. If you do happen to super chat or all that, obviously the questions jump to the top of the pile. We got a little dance for it and all that jazz. We do have a special member goal right now. We're trying to get to 100 members this month. There'll be a special giveaway that begins once we get to that, and the giveaway might get larger and larger depending on new goals, set for the month. So yeah, we're just out to have a good time tonight. Hopefully you guys are here to have a good time too. We are giving away a Nintendo Switch OLED, by the way. So if this is the first time you've seen my channel and you just really would like a chance to win a Switch OLED, subscribe. That's all you got to do to enter. Winner will be announced during a live stream in early October. What else do I want to get out of the way here? I think that's it. I don't really think I have anything else. We technically have new merch, but I can't show you it yet. You can go order it for yourself. It takes about 2 to 3 weeks for you to get it. You can order it down in the top link in the description. But I've got a bunch of it on order that should be here. I think they said in 10 days I should have some of it. And then in 15 days I should have all of it. So you'll be able to see some of that merch on hand. And you guys can let me know if you actually think it looks good or not. I think the only thing that was out of stock was the Zip hoodie, which sucks because I wanted one. But it was out of stock. But you know, we're still technically in a pandemic, so it is what it is. Gatorade shots. Hell yeah, baby. Gatorade. Water sucks. It really, really sucks. What's the song name you were jamming? I don't know off the top of my head, actually. One of these days, I'm going to actually have all the song names down that I use so you guys can check it out. Angel Face says he's drinking Pepsi. Cool. I'm subscribed, keeping my fingers and toes crossed. Oh, yeah, we'll see what happens. I'm actually paying off that pre-order for that giveaway here next week, so it'll be all taken care of. I just got to change wherever it gets shipped to, of course, depending on who wins. I just wanted to know what's going on with Baldo the Guardian Owls. Game-breaking bugs. What? There's bugs in Baldo? Oh, you want to know? Wait, are you just talking about the Sonic Colors thing? Hey man, I just want to know what the latest with the Nintendo Switch Online besides Game Boy and Game Boy Color. You think there might be GameCube? I just hope I'm not setting myself up for disappointment. So, according to Eurogamer, there is more systems coming in the next 6 months that have not been leaked to Nintendo Switch Online. And some of those systems, obviously Game Boy, Game Boy Color, those are the ones that are leaked right now. Those are the ones that we are supposedly getting this, before holidays this year. But it sounds like there's a potential of a Sega system getting added. There is obviously the potential of the Nintendo 64, GameCube. We don't really know. I will say this. I would never expect them to actually put GameCube on the Nintendo Switch Online service. I say never. Obviously, if they keep the service going for the next 10 years, it'll probably eventually put it on there. So we hope. But things like, I think the Sega Genesis is safely potentially out there. Maybe even the Sega Saturn or the Sega Dreamcast. I think N64 is definitely on the table because they've had that on Virtual Console before. And I think Game Boy Advance is definitely a possibility. But we'll have to wait and see. Right now, it sounds like Eurogamer actually knows all the platforms coming in the next 6 months, but they're choosing not to talk about it right now. And I think they're probably just waiting for Game Boy and Game Boy Color to get announced by Nintendo. They don't want to just spoil all the surprises. They want to milk the news cycle, right? So they know about future ones. They want to milk it. They want to wait. Let the ones that currently leaked, let that information come out, and then they'll probably start leaking more stuff after Game Boy and Game Boy Color get announced in what we presume will be a September Nintendo Direct. Let me see here. GameCube, Virtual Console, and Switch would make my PP very hard. Nice. Nice. Coffee mug full of milk. Sweet. Milk glass full of coffee. Oh. Adding the Sega system would set a weird precedent. I would normally agree that adding a Sega system would be this weird thing, But I also think it's different because Sega doesn't make systems anymore. So like adding a PlayStation 1 wouldn't make sense. Sony has their own ecosystem, their own platforms. Adding, say Xbox wouldn't make sense again. But adding Atari, adding Sega, adding any of those now dead platform holders, I think actually makes a lot of sense. There's so many of those games that are just left to history. Now, Sega's actually had the Sega Mini Classic, and they've had a whole bunch of these really terrible all-in-one collection consoles. So Sega has no problem republishing 1 billion of their Genesis games. So I'm sure that they would have no problem having Genesis join the Nintendo Switch Online service. And also, we got to remember that the biggest IP, obviously, back in those days for Sega was Sonic, and Nintendo and Sega are like this with Sonic right now. Literally, they have a joint game, and Mario and Sonic got the Olympic Games. So, yeah, I think it's a different situation with Sega than you could say with pretty much any other possible third-party platform coming to Nintendo Switch Online. So I don't really think it sets a weird precedent. I think it just solidifies a relationship that we already know exists. GameCube still feels newish to me. I mean, it came out when I was not even in high school yet. I was in middle school, and I'm in my mid-30s. So, GameCube was a while ago. You think they will eventually do a Switch Lite OLED edition? No. I don't think so. I think they're going to leave Switch Lite as it is because they can keep the price down. Adding the Sega Genesis makes almost no sense because you have the Sega Genesis Classic already being sold on the eShop. Sure. You can argue that. But you could also say, hey, it makes no sense having the NES or the SNES. We got the NES Mini. We got the SNES Mini. Why the hell do we need those on the Nintendo Switch Online service? It's about adding value, right? So yeah, sure, there's the Sega Genesis Classics collection or whatever it is on Switch, but so I have a feeling that didn't sell very well. Hence why Sega would be willing to put it on Switch, on Nintendo Switch Online service, sign a contract with Nintendo, get some money from Nintendo, and Nintendo gets to add value to their online service. It's kind of a win-win for Sega. And Sega, after the disaster that was the most recent game release, could probably use a few wins in their bag. Now, again, this is technically just rumor and speculation, but Eurogamer did say some of the platforms coming to Nintendo Switch Online in the next 6 months are not Nintendo platforms. So we're kind of presuming it will be Sega. It could be Atari. Could be the Neo Geo. Could be Philips CDI. Could be a million other dead systems. The only ones to me that make logical sense would be Atari and Sega. A lot of the other companies didn't really get big enough, long enough for people to recognize the brands. And when Nintendo adds quote-unquote value to the Nintendo Switch Online service, it's usually they want something that's recognizable. So adding the Philips CDI or the Neo Geo or some of these other things that have come out over the years that didn't sell well, just it doesn't really fit. So Atari could also be a possibility, of course. So I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. We don't actually know. At least I don't. I don't actually know. Somebody at Eurogamer apparently knows, but I don't actually know. TurboGrafx, yeah. I mean, there's a whole bunch of it. It's just the known brands are Sega and Atari. We'll see what happens. Honestly, it's all speculation, besides for the people that know that aren't telling us. You put on the title, Nintendo Direct leaked it. That's not the title. That was okay, so I don't know what the hell's going on. Ever since I reinstalled Streamlabs OBS, it keeps auto-starting an old stream of mine. I think what I have to do is I think for every stream, I'm going to have to set a new stream key. So for a long time, I've been using the same stream key on YouTube. Haven't had a problem. But the problem I think that's happening is there's a setting on Streamlabs OBS that is just starting its own separate stream from the one that I set up. And I had this problem before, and I found out how to shut it off. I haven't remembered how to shut it off. So what you saw with that thing that popped up and said, oh, Nintendo Direct, that was an old podcast episode. That was like a podcast episode from like 2-3 weeks ago. So like, that's not a topic today. That's old news. That's old news. Let's see here. You don't trust Eurogamer. So Josh, that's fine. You don't have. I mean, honestly, what you trust and don't trust is your own personal prerogative. Eurogamer does have a pretty good track record. Also, in case you didn't know, Digital Foundry is Eurogamer. So like a lot of people, I don't trust Eurogamer, but I really trust Digital Foundry. It's like they're the same company. Anyways, Atari does technically have a new console coming. We'll see what happens with that thing. I don't even know if that thing's ever going to come out. I presume it will. Isn't that the Atari VCS or whatever it's called? Like, we'll see. We'll see. Atari is not the company that it used to be anymore. So, who's ready for E3 2022? The main highlight will be Intellivision Amico with Verizon 5G included. 1 year subscription for free. Free data. But you gotta buy the premium bundle. Premium! I wish they would give us the option to purchase the NES and SNES games. And they're not going to. They're not going to. Not unless they completely revamp Nintendo Switch Online. Which, there was an old rumor for that, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. How about the Polymega? Oh my god. The Polymega! Mega. The Polymega! Dude, I totally love that echo effect. Yeah. Remember, Soulja Boy now owns Atari, right? Oh my god. Did you guys hear that story? So Soulja Boy does like this Instagram live thing. And on it, he says, hey, I partnered with Atari and like, I basically own them now and I'm their CEO. And he was being dead serious. And then Atari fires back and they're like, no, our CEO is blah, blah, blah. Which Atari didn't deny that they were talking to Soulja Boy or that there was an agreement with Soulja Boy, but they definitely disagree that Soulja Boy owns and runs Atari. It was weird. Now, I don't know if Soulja Boy is just trying to cling to something. I don't, like, he still has. So look, like, obviously Soulja Boy got really popular for the You. Like, okay, cool. Yeah, he had a really, really big song. He's had a couple other ones that did fine. I got nothing against him. Obviously, we know him in the video game sphere because he was selling all those Chinese knockoff consoles, the Soulja Boy, console, the best thing since life, whatever. Most people didn't even get it when they ordered it, and the ones that did get it, they were just junky Chinese consoles you could get off of like Alibaba or whatever. But here's the thing. He's still popular. And he's got a big enough following that he probably just gets donations and everything every time he streams, and obviously gets brand deals. So I don't know. The whole Atari Soulja Boy thing I think is just cuckoo. Like cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. I'll say this. Soulja Boy is entertaining, just you should never know what the fuck's gonna come out of his mouth. He's just like making shit up on the fly. The first rapper to own a video game company. Sure. Let's see here. Why is there two prices on Sonic Colors Ultimate? I don't know. Ask Sega. I don't know. I'm not them. I didn't make the pricing. I'm assuming that like maybe one is like just a normal edition and one's a deluxe edition or something like that. I mean, that's usually how this goes. When you see a game of multiple price listings, it's because there's like different versions. I don't actually know because I ain't gonna buy the game. I think we all know why I'm not going to be buying the game. I can't support this. Even though I actually like Sonic Colors, I can't support just the lack of care. I just can't support it. No matter how much I like the game. I'll just go back and buy a used copy for Wii. Beto Garcia Malton wants to know, so what's wrong with Sonic Colors? You haven't heard. So Sonic Colors Ultimate came out. The digital version came out, by the way. Physical version's been delayed. It's weird, right? Why is the physical version delayed but not the... Maybe it has something to do with all the bugs! So, every version of Sonic Colors, regardless of platform, has a crap load of bugs. All of them have save glitch bugs that delete your save files. All of them have bugs that make you fall through the world map. And what's interesting is that while these are some common bugs that exist between all versions of the game, somehow the Switch version is even worse. There are so many bugs, so many glitches, things that can induce seizures. It's insane. It's so bad that Nintendo is giving refunds. That's right. Nintendo is refunding. Nintendo has a 0 refund policy on the eShop, and they're giving refunds for this game. Now look, maybe you want to buy it, maybe you'll get lucky, maybe you won't encounter any bugs that really matter to you, and you know what? It ends up being something that's actually worth it to you. Ain't to me, though. It just ain't to me. But good on Nintendo. Obviously, I feel like there should be some sort of refund policy in general for the eShop. Maybe look at what Steam's doing, have like a limited time play, although like there's some indie games that might get screwed by that. Honestly, the biggest issue with the eShop isn't even refunds, it's shovelware, and not having a way to organize games, and it's a hot mess on the eShop. But that's besides the point. When we keep hoping that Nintendo's going to learn, and they don't. Hey, I gotta... Wow! Let me see here. President Furukawa, he's not, doesn't really affect Nintendo's reputation, so I don't think he really cares. Anyone know if Fall Guys is coming out? No idea. It's already $6 off at GameStop right now. Ouch. Ow, man. 33 days till OLED. Are you chasing beer with a Mountain Dew energy? So this is kind of, yeah. I'm not chasing the beer. Okay, so here's the deal. For those who don't know, sometimes almost every stream I do, I have some drinks. What happens is whenever I get a super chat, I'll do a shot of the beer. I'm not casually drinking the beer. I do a shot of it. Obviously, the higher the super chats, I grab other alcohols back here that are obviously a lot more, let's just say, get me to go to Funky Town. So my actual drink right now, usually I'm drinking water, but tonight I wanted a little bit of a caffeine kick, or a big caffeine kick. So I got a Mountain Dew Rise Tropical Sunrise, 25 cals in the can. This is just my casual drink that I'll be drinking throughout the stream. This I am not casually drinking. This only comes out when super chats come. And hey, this is the thing that happens. If we don't get any the rest of the stream, we had a couple, so that's why it's even open. It gets dumped out at the end. So it's no pressure, no sweat off my back if I don't finish the beer. I've got 3 more beers back here. I've got tequila, which the tequila only comes out if we get to $100 in super chats. Because tequila really gets me messed up. We got a brand new bottle of Phillips vodka, not even cracked yet. So you know that this is like not water, this is real booze. Some people are always like, oh my God, you got all these clear, because look, it's like, here's clear, this is tequila silver, and then we got Goldschlager. And people are always like, is it even real stuff? Because look, it's clear. For all we know, those are just empty bottles that you fill with water. No. No. We don't fake it around here. There's no faking it. We do the real deal. How do we activate the super chat? That's the little money symbol down by the chat. Nobody, by the way, ever has to super chat or ever has to donate. We have a donation link as well. And we have members. So the members is like the join button, or if you're on an Apple device, you got to click on the link that's down in the description to become a member. And the members, when we hit our member goals, we have special giveaways that happen. And I really want to get to 100 members this month, and we'll see what happens. There is a possibility that if we got to a certain number of members this month, I will give away a second Switch OLED. But let's not worry about that right now because we haven't even hit the first member goal of the month. So the month is young though, right? We're only 5 days in. This is only like the third stream. I guess 3 out of 5 days. That's a lot for me. Holy crap. And well, it's because we started the month with a podcast on the first. So Nintendo has never done Nintendo has refunded before, but it's very rare. It's very rare that Nintendo refunds on the eShop. And man, I'm kind of blown out with this light right now. Probably should turn it down a little. But I'm not going to get up right now. Hey! Here it is! Thank you, Phantom Foolery, for the $4.99. Yeah, thank you so much for that. Let me get that beer shop poured there. If you guys want the more serious booze to come out, that's always like $10 and up, because otherwise, I'm not dumb. I don't want to die over here. That's why I always say the more serious booze for the bigger donos, because it just, you gotta drink responsibly, as they say. Thanks for that, man. Cheers. Let's see. You can join on Apple with the join button's on Apple now? Hold up. The join button used to not be. Did they finally update the YouTube app? Hold on, let me see here. Let me tap. Is the join button there? We close. I do not see the join button. The join button is still not. I have an iPhone 12 and there is no join button. There is a super chat button, but there is no join. So as far as I'm aware, they have not fixed that on Apple devices yet. At least it's not like the Samsung Galaxy Fold. Like the YouTube app is completely broken for creators. They did refunds when Luigi's Mansion 3 Sword Shield got leaked, I think. Okay. Yeah, as I say, Nintendo has done refunds of digital games before. They just don't do it often. It's very rare that they do it. And now they're doing it right now for Sonic Colors Ultimate. Now, I don't know how long they'll be doing it for. I presume probably the next couple weeks, and then they'll be like, okay, people should know by now, and if they don't, well, shut out of luck. But yeah, never mind. Yeah. I literally have the latest iPhone, and well, I don't have the Pro model, but yeah, it doesn't matter. If you have an iPhone, it's not there. Now, if you click in the description, there's a link, and then it'll open up Safari, or I mean, I guess if you set it to some other browser. But anyways, as Natsu said, I went to Safari. So I went on Safari, I went to YouTube and turned it to desktop mode and doing it that way. Yeah, I mean, that's the easiest way to do it. The easiest way to do it if you're on an Apple device is just open up the stream or the channel in Safari and set the desktop mode, and then it'll work. I don't know why. Like, I can't even blame Apple for it. This is literally Google not adding the feature. And I'm sure there's some reason for it. It might actually be because of Apple, because like when you super chat from an Apple device, it's 1 cent less, and what happens is Apple actually gets part of that money when you super chat. Now it doesn't take it out of my cut; it takes it out of Google's cut. But it's really weird. So it could be one of those things where they don't inhabit in the app, because then Apple would get a cut of that membership fee. So it actually might be because of how Apple works, why it's not added, but I don't know. Apple and their closed platform it can be a pain sometimes for developers. And I know I'm learning this now as I'm in college, and I'm working on iOS apps right now in college, and there's a lot of weird things with iOS compared to Android. Um, yeah, Aubrey Jackson. It's there for an Android. It should be there for you on Android. Androids don't take a cut of your join button. Um. Anyways, it's a Q&A. So at me in the chat. Otherwise, I honestly don't know that I have a ton personally to talk about. It's been a bit of a weird day. Natsu says, "How was your Sunday?" Long. Well, what did I even do today? Well, I made that one video earlier today. Otherwise, just hung out with my kids. I took them over to my parents. My parents happen to have a swimming pool, so my kids got to swim. And then I had a fantasy football draft today. That was earlier today. So that was basically all that really happened today. I mean, I hung out with Yulia, obviously my fiance, but I think she's upstairs putting the kiddos to bed right now because I can hear them upstairs. Hopefully, it's going well up there. She hasn't come down here to be like, "Nate, I need your help." So hopefully it's going all right. I say this because I'm usually the one that puts the kids to bed because she works at night. But obviously it's a weekend, so she's not working. So usually I'm the one doing this. So hopefully they're listening to her. Is that picture Crater Lake? I have no idea. I have a rotating desktop wallpaper. It does some of the window ones. This is one of Windows pictures, and then it'll also do some gaming ones I have set up. So it just rotates. I have no idea what that is. So your dancing's hilarious. Thank you. The thing is, I like to dance, man. It's so much fun. When I was younger, I used to go out to bars and like just get the jukebox going, or if there was a DJ or a band, and I would just dance and dance and dance. And yeah, I even still like doing that to this day, even though I don't do it as often as I used to. September Direct, hopefully soon. I hope so, Lauren. My Packer prediction: Packers 48, Saints 6. The Packers defense still isn't great. Alvin Kamara is really great and is going to destroy the Packers defense. And I know that there's the thought process that Jameis Winston isn't very good. I mean, he throws the ball a ton, and he gets a lot of touchdowns, and he gets a lot of interceptions. But that wasn't for Sean Payton before. Now he's had a full offseason and is now the full-time starter with Sean Payton. Who knows? I have no idea what kind of Saints team I'm going to get. And the Saints have a decent defense. So we're just going to have to wait and see. I never presume Packer blowouts. The Packers had an offseason full of drama with Aaron Rodgers. The Packers offensively haven't really gone anywhere or gotten any better. Defensively, I don't think the Packers have gotten any better either. The Packers are pretty much the exact same team they were last year, which was a team that was almost good enough to go to the Super Bowl, but it's mostly they're mostly just running it back. So we'll see what happens. I went to Crater Lake for my vacation. I think Jameis is good. See, Jameis is. I never thought he was a bad quarterback. But he did turn them, like he basically had like a 1-to-1 turnover to interception ratio, which isn't good. But again, all of that was in Tampa, and wasn't with a head coach that's as good as Sean Payton. So we'll have to wait and see. I honestly have no idea what we're going to get out of him. He's got arm talent. He could throw the football. He just hasn't always had it up here. So we'll have to see if it's any different under Sean Payton or not. But they're going to throw the ball a ton. And Alvin Kamara, I mean, we always get destroyed by good running backs. So, is there anything going on for Animal Crossing? I thought there was an update coming out. It's just a small one though. But I read something about a small. Well, maybe I could find the news on that. Animal. Let me see. Wait a second. This might be my lead story tomorrow if this is true. I might have to do my research on this. Potentially, there was a massive data mine for Animal Crossing. There's not really much in this. Yeah, I don't know. I guess there's something coming, but I don't really have the details. So I don't know. There's something coming. Google it. You'll probably find it out quicker than I will, because I'm streaming. Like, I can't just sit here for like 10 minutes looking at stuff and just be silent. Natsu says, "What's your favorite boss fight or mini boss fight in the Skyward Sword? Personally, I love Dreadfuse and Skirvo." Skirvo, baby. Why do you think I have his statue? He's one of my favorite boss fights in all of Zelda. Stop dropping his dang sword. I should probably just glue this thing on him so he stops falling off. Anyways. Skirvo. Have I played Sky on Switch? No, I have not. Making Music says, "What are the realistic..." See, there it is. Now it's got like, what, the Skyrim? I got rotating desktop backgrounds. What are your realistic predictions for the September Direct? Every game that's coming out the rest of this year will be shown that's exclusive to Switch. There'll be some sort of third-party game showing up, maybe NBA 2K. I don't know. There'll be some sort of third-party game showing up besides Shin Megami Tensei 5, which, again, that's an exclusive. And we're going to find out what March's game is next year. So, I don't know what that game's going to be. Could be Splatoon 3. Could be a game that's not even announced yet. Could be the new Xenoblade Chronicles game that's being rumored. Could be the rumored Donkey Kong game. Could be anything. Could be Bayonetta 3. I have no idea. And so I think we're going to find out what the March game for 2022 is. That's about. I mean, and Nintendo Switch Online update that has Game Boy and Game Boy Color. Those are the super realistic predictions. Like they're really safe. They're really obvious. It's what they do every September. So, our team LSU is not good. I mean, I don't want to get into it. My team Wisconsin's never won the whole thing. So, and they just lost to Penn State in the very first game at home. I haven't followed football seriously since the Minneapolis Miracle. Do you believe in miracles? There's an online update for Switch. Supposedly, Game Boy Color and Game Boy. Do you think we could possibly get some Breath of the Wild 2 at the Rumor Direct? I don't think we're getting Breath of the Wild 2 news until next year. I think the first Nintendo Direct next year, we will get news for it. I think it's possible we don't get Breath of the Wild 2 news again until E3 next year. So I think it's one of those buckle up. It's gonna be a bit before we hear about it. I don't think we're hearing about Breath of the Wild 2 the rest of this year. Automatic lighting fix. Oh, so when you say automatic lighting fix, so what happens is this camera's on autofocus, right? My camera, and so it's trying to focus on my face, but I got like reflections that come off my glasses, and sometimes that messes up the focus on the camera. If you wonder why I'm wearing glasses, my contacts went bad, and now I have to order some new ones. It was going to be like a month before I have contacts again. So you're used to seeing me in glasses. I'll be wearing them for a lot of my videos. Well, maybe I'll take them off for some of my videos. We'll see. But because I don't like the reflection of the light. Like when I'm like this, it's fine, but then I got to be conscious of it because if I move ahead, you can see that. Anyways, that's for me to worry about, and you guys just to sit back and enjoy. Yeah, I don't know. You know, it just when the focus gets it right, the lighting looks fine. But like the focus doesn't always get it right. Plus, I keep putting my hand in front of my face. I do that a lot on my live streams. I don't know. It's just a habit I have, I guess. How do you see Metroid Dread selling? 5 million by the end of the holiday season. That's right. Best-selling Metroid of all time by the end of the holiday season. We need background picks for the Switch. Oh, so themes. You mean themes. Personally, I don't care about themes. Like, I know we had them on like 3DS, and it was a neat feature. And I'm not gonna say I didn't use it. I never bought a theme, so I never spent money on them. I don't know. I just don't care about it. Like you talk about like the desktop wallpaper. Like, oh man, we care about our desktop wallpapers, right? I barely ever look at my desktop. Like, so yeah, I guess I barely literally barely ever look at my desktop. So it doesn't matter. Like even my phone, the one I see the most is this one, which you guys can't see because I got a notification for. It's just a picture of me and my fiance, and that's because I'll do a quick check like this of my notifications on here, right? Like scroll through, look at my notifications, and yes, I get a lot of notifications every day. And then I have a background pic here, of my 3 kids, but I barely ever notice it. So like for me, I don't really care about themes. It just doesn't matter to me. Yeah. Does Apple have a rotating background feature? I'd like to throw a few different pictures. Maybe they do. I don't know. I know my old Android phone used to have that feature. And I got a text from my fiance. And on my Switch, I spend the least amount of time like literally, I turn on Switch and I already know what I'm gonna do. I just open the game right away. So I've never been someone who cares about themes. I've never cared about themes, and I've never cared about not having music. However, I do care that we don't have folders. I still don't know why we don't have folders. That to me is baffling. Also don't know why we don't have Netflix. And why the eShop is as bad as it is. Why the hell do we have friend codes again? Why the hell do I need my phone to video chat or to voice chat? And okay, if I have to use my phone, why can't I text people in the app and send messages to people on Switch? Why can't I, okay, if I have to use my phone, have a lobby that I can talk to people? I mean, I do. It's called Discord, but it's just dumb. It's just dumb. Joe Ellis. Who else is hoping that the Nintendo Direct will include a Pornhub? Technically, if you want to get technical, you mess with the social media stuff, get the browser to load, and you could, once the web browser is loaded, go to Pornhub. Technically, Pornhub is usable on Switch. It's just they don't want you to know about that. I've never actually visited Pornhub, but you can visit any website once you get the web browser up. So, some more wallpapers like in PlayStation 4. Never owned a PlayStation 4, so no idea. Crash XD says, "Hey, Nintendo Prime, do you think Psychonauts 2 will be on the Switch?" No. Nope. That company's owned by Microsoft. So, no. No. That will be Game Pass, Microsoft exclusive. About time he asked the real questions. The mem, I think he means the meme, but he's missing the E. I don't know. Says, think we'll see Pikmin 4 anytime soon. No. I honestly thought we should have had Pikmin 4 after Pikmin 3 Pikmin 3 Deluxe sales were so good. Didn't happen. I think Pikmin 4 has not only been shelved, I think whatever they did have done for that game has been practically destroyed, and they'd have to start over again, and they don't plan to start over again. So, sucks, because I think Pikmin 4 could actually be like a 3, 4, maybe 5 million seller on Switch. But I don't think it's happening. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know how many more years we have of Switch left, so. Josh says, 5 mil? No way. Hey, that's my prediction. That's my bet. That's my guess. Here's what I can tell you. Every release of a new game in an established IP on Switch has either become the best-selling or second best-selling game in history of that IP. Most of the time, it's become the best-selling. The reason I say second best is because Pokemon Sword and Shield technically didn't outsell Generation 1. But it is the second best-selling generation of Pokemon ever released. So it is at number 2. I'm just saying, everything that releases on Switch that's a new entry in an established IP sells significantly better than any game released before it. Called the Switch effect. And it's going to happen to Metroid Dread. And it's going to end up being the best-selling game in franchise history. And to do that, it has to sell 5 million copies. There's my logic, and that's why I made that prediction. Best-selling one right now is 4.5 million, and it's Metroid Prime 1. Let's see here. Sorry, I'm trying to make sure I didn't miss any questions. And be sure to @ me in the chat. Because it highlights it for me, so I can sift through questions better. Do I expect the Smash DLC to be announced at the Game Awards or September? It's supposed to come this year, remember? Sakurai said we are getting the character this year. They're not going to announce it at the Game Awards. It's going to be announced now. It might not release until December. I have no idea. Usually it's a really short announcement to release. So I think it's going to be announced like at this direct. Cuphead 2 at the Video Game Awards. Maybe. I have no idea what the studio's doing right now. It took 9 years for Pikmin 3 to come out. Pikmin 3 turns. That's not okay. Let me explain. It didn't take 9 years for Pikmin 3 to come out. Pikmin 3 was made in less than 2 years. What it did is it took 7 years for them to decide to make another Pikmin game. So, Starlink developers should work on an open world Star Fox. They are Ubisoft developers. They're working on whatever they're working on. I have no idea. It's going to be a little selfish. I hope they aren't any big announcements before Dread comes out, because I don't want the hype to get diluted. I don't think the hype for Dread's going to get diluted. One, they've almost been over spoiling the game. Like, it's been insane. They've showed so many boss fights. I literally have no idea why. I think they're just trying to make people as hyped as possible for that game. And even if there is a big announcement, like let's say Xenoblade Chronicles 3, or let's say it's I don't know, maybe a new Mario game gets unveiled. Yeah, that's all big deals. Or maybe it's even Mario Kart 9. But here's the thing. Any new announced game that we don't know about right now isn't going to come this year anyways. It's going to be for 2022. So because it's going to be for 2022, it's not going to kill Metroid Dread hype because those games won't be coming anytime soon. That's like saying because Pokemon Legends Arceus comes out in January that it overshadows Dread and it's going to affect. No, it comes out next year. It's not even a concern. So it doesn't matter if they announce something in here that's a bigger deal than Dread. There's already games announced that are a bigger deal than Dread. Breath of the Wild 2. Hello, go see how many millions of views that trailer has from E3. It's one of the top viewed trailers of the year in video games. Like, there's already been announcements that are bigger than Dread. But they all come out next year. Splatoon 3. Sparks of Hope. Etc., etc., etc. But all those games come next year. So they can have a big announcement here and it's not going to overshadow Dread in October. And they're pushing Dread really, really hard. So, Electro TDS is going 7 million for Dread. But when? Dread's not getting, like when I say 5 million, it's not 5 million for launch. It's 5 million by the end of the holidays. So when we get updated numbers in like January or whatever, that's when I think we'll hear that it sold 5. I don't think it's going to launch 5. I think it's going to probably do a couple million at launch, and then holidays are really going to help boost things. Now, I could be wrong. Maybe it will do 5 because it's launching alongside Switch OLED. So maybe that's even going to help it more. I have no idea. Someone mentioned, didn't Metroid Prime only sell 2.82? It's a little weird. We don't have the technical exact sales of Metroid Prime. The last official figure Nintendo gave was 2.82, and so that's why a lot of people like 2.82. But there was additional sales after that, and the best estimate at the moment is that it ended up topping 4 million. Because it was a weird time where Nintendo... it doesn't help that it also came out on a platform that Nintendo was trying to move on from quickly. But yeah, either way. If we never get Madden on Switch, I'd love to see NFL licensed Tecmo throwback. Won't happen. There's an NFL license exclusivity with EA. They still have that NFL exclusive deal. Now, you're seeing other NFL licensed games come out, but they're not simulation. You're never going to, if Madden doesn't come to Switch, there will not be another simulation NFL game on Switch. It can't happen. EA owns the rights. So. So we got some tiny retro Star Wars game, Episode 1 Pod Racer. Got any you want to see? I want to see Rogue Squadron games. Shadow of the Empire, Rogue Squadron games. We're already getting Pod Racer. That's one that I really enjoyed back in the day. There was an Empire Strikes Back game that I remember being really good. It'd be nice to see. I would love to see like the classic Battlefront games come back. That would be kind of cool. Just have the classics. Obviously they're not going to get the new ones, the classic ones. So there's been a number. I'd like to see KOTOR come back. That'd be sweet. There's a lot of these older Star Wars games I'd love to see come back. Clayton Miller says, I bet we see a Metroid game and watch in the future. Mario, Zelda, Metroid, maybe Kirby. No. We got the Mario one because Mario is the leader of Nintendo. We got Zelda because Zelda's bigger than it's ever been. And they've been celebrating Zelda's anniversary every time. It's far more likely we got a Donkey Kong one than a Metroid. Donkey Kong is significantly bigger than Metroid. But we're not going to get either. So. And Kirby's a little tiny franchise in comparison to all of those. So, if Nintendo Direct came out next week, what day do you think? Well, I doubt it's the same day as Sony. Sony's got Thursday on lock. I doubt that Nintendo's going to double stack the same day. It's not going to be Friday because Friday, for those who don't know, is Saturday in Japan. So they don't work. They're very strict about not working weekends in Japan. So it will not be Friday. The last few directs have happened on Wednesdays, so the 8th is a possibility. There's also a maintenance thing happening like around the 7th and 8th with the Monolith website, so that's led to some speculation. So probably that Wednesday or Tuesday. But again, that's assuming it even happens this week. It might not. Now, every Wednesday, the last 4 September directs have all happened on September 13th or earlier. So next week would actually make a lot of sense based on the history. But that being said, hey! Thank you so much, Aaron Curry, for the $5. He says, how can I get a Switch OLED pre-order? Switch OLED pre-order. Switch OLED pre-order. Switch OLED pre-order. 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 Right now, you can't. eBay. You literally can't. You can't get a pre-order now. It's too late. The time to pre-order is coming on. No, you can win my giveaway by subscribing to the channel. But you can't pre-order one yourself now. If you didn't get it on the pre-orders back when they were available, it's too late. Thanks for the $5, though. I do appreciate it. Let's see here. Natsu says, I think the Game Awards is a possible time to announce the final DLC for Smash, considering that Sephiroth was announced there and released on the 22nd, but I do agree September is more likely. I also think there's a high chance Bayonetta 3 gets unveiled this year at the Game Awards, and that's going to be what Nintendo shows. Just my personal feeling, of course. I don't actually know, but it would be 4 years since Bayonetta 3 was announced at the Game Awards, so to me it kind of makes sense to be a thing for the Game Awards. But we'll have to, I don't really know. Nintendo always has something at the Game Awards. That's what's really cool. Like 2014, it was Breath of the freaking Wild. Like, who the hell knows? Like, Nintendo, kudos to them. They've always kind of been a big supporter of Jeff Keighley's Game Awards. So we're just going to have to wait and see what Nintendo wants to show there. Again, they always seem to have something. So that's one thing that makes it cool, and that's one reason why we always stream the Game Awards every year. One, we usually have a betting special between Eric and I for the Game Awards, where we, we have a punishment for the loser and all that, trying to predict who wins what award, so we actually pay attention to the awards. And then obviously we react to all the game announcements, and we obviously see what the hell Nintendo's got going. So we'll be streaming the Game Awards. I can tell you that right now. We will be live streaming the Game Awards and live reacting. I'm pretty sure that I already have my invite from Jeff Keighley to be a streaming partner. So yeah, it's going to be sweet. We're going to have a fun time at the Game Awards. Might even try to put on a semi-professional show like we did for E3. You guys remember our E3 show? Let's just say we might be running that back for the Game Awards. That was a fun show, wasn't it? Wasn't it? We might even have special giveaways in the works for the Game Awards already. As I said, remember our E3 show? Run it back, baby. Except obviously it's not 4 straight days, thank God. No 17-hour streams, thank God. But it will be a pretty decently long stream. It might be like an 8-hour stream. Nah, I don't think it'll be 8. Maybe it's more than like 5 or 6. It really depends. The Game Awards themselves can be awfully long. Oh, we'll have to wait and see. The plans are already in the works. No love for Force Unleashed. I just didn't really play Force Unleashed, so I don't have much thoughts on that. Let's see here. Scrolling on down, the direct will be 50 minutes long. That's what Johnny Hernandez thinks. All right, cool. That'd be nice. I just did a little look. Apart from Pod Racer, the only other big one on the Switch is Republic Commando, which is weird. I got Super Star Wars game, got updated for. Clayton Miller says at MP, please at Nintendo Prime. That doesn't highlight me. It has to be at Nintendo Prime. It could have a space or no space. Either one will highlight it. But when you do at NP, it doesn't actually pop up. But I happened to scroll by it and saw it for a second. Will we ever get a new Wario game? Clayton, I got some good news for you. I think you means a new Wario Land game, right? That's what I assume you think. This was like what, 3 or 4 of them back in the day. I presume you mean Wario Land, but you didn't say Wario Land. You said a new Wario game. So I got some great news for you. Let's just say this upcoming week, Friday, there's a new Wario game coming out. Just saying, if you're just talking about Wario games in general, we have a new Wario game. If you mean Wario Land, no, they're done with that. That'll never come back. I mean, they might bring back through the Nintendo Switch Online service, but we're not going to get a new one. Yeah, I was going to say, but you technically said Wario game, and I was like, I got news for you. But yeah, I figured you meant Wario Land. But yeah, no, we're not getting that. Let's see here. So the guess was 7 mil by summer of 2022. All right, Electo. We'll have to see. Velocity 90 says, "Are you taking shots of beer?" Yes. So for any super chat or donation that's under $10, I'm doing just shots of beer. This is just a thing to keep me from getting too messed up too quickly. But if we get a $10 one, we'll probably bust out, the vodka. And if we get like 15, maybe we'll bust out the Goldschlager. And then it takes a while for us to get the tequila because that's a cumulative unless someone wants to donate $100. But tequila really messes me up, so that's why the old cock tequila, because that's, I mean, it's a cock on here. This is the 100, and as you can see, I do not drink tequila. All of this has been gone mostly during E3. E3 was nuts. You guys were insane during E3. Because the only shot that was happening for most of E3 was only $100 shots. We weren't doing anything else. And somehow, some way, I mean, God, with how E3 went, this will be gone by the end of the Game Awards. My God, when I bought that bottle, I thought I'd have it for like 4 years. Because it's so rare to get $100 super chats, but E3 just... You guys were insane for E3. I don't know why you guys were doing so much. I do appreciate the support. It's just... What I can say is it's kind of cool because all that E3 money and all that jazz, all of that helped us do this giveaway for the Switch OLED. So like a lot of what you guys do goes right back into the channel. So Bayonetta 3 would be awesome, yeah. Like the Russian accent with the vodka. I got some Russian in my family tree, and my fiance is literally 100% Russian now. She doesn't have an accent anymore. She's asking me my Amazon login. How does she not know it by now? All right. Tequila. I don't where you live, but shots are only $3 in Plover. So Clayton, it's not about. I'm sure you're just yanking my chain. You've been around a long time. I'm sure you know why. It's not about what the shots cost. There's the reason that it's $10 for me to do a real shot is because when I make the shots cheap, say I'll do a shot of vodka for $3, I will be fucked up I'd be fucked up now. Just with the super chats we've already had. There's a reason they're more expensive because I don't want to just get messed up in the first 10 minutes of a stream. And it's kind of nice because then I end up usually not getting messed up. But every now and then there's a stream where things go nuts. We have like $200 in super chats and donations. And I'm partying it up and disco lighting it up in here and talking about the facts of life because you guys just got me. Woo! But yeah, it doesn't happen very often though. But E3, that last day of E3 especially. I usually get more excited for the Game Awards than I do E3. Maybe it's because I'm usually in a good mood around. Well, good mood. It's holiday season, and we kind of know what to expect at the Game Awards, right? Like we're gonna have a bunch of awards, which you may or may not care about. I happen to care about the awards. I know not everybody does, but we're also gonna get a bunch of world premieres and game announcements. Heck, we got the Xbox Series X was unveiled at it. You never know what you're gonna get, except that there's going to be some really big games shown off every time. It's not like when you would watch like the Ubisoft E3 or whatever, and you'd be like, okay, yeah, we expect this, the Assassin's Creed, this and that. They don't really surprise you often. The Game Awards always seems to have a few shocking, surprising things every time. And that's really cool. So we just kind of know what to expect. So it's easier to kind of be hyped for it because it's been consistently getting better every year. And they've consistently had bigger and bigger announcements every year, which is just awesome. So I think that's, Jeff Keighley's done a good job at making that show wildly consistent, where E3 is wildly inconsistent. Very inconsistent. Nintendo, not so much, but most of E3 is wildly inconsistent. Yeah, you look Russian. That's fine. I'm not even like 10% Russian. Is it because I have my hair like this, like off to the side? Is that because like one, this isn't even my natural hair color. This is a little darker than my nat. So if it's because of the combination of the dark and the hair to the side, I have no idea. I'm more German and Polish and Irish. Way more German, Polish, and Irish than I am Russian. But I'm a massive mutt. There's like 30 nationalities plus in me. Cloud gaming already exists on Switch? Yes, it does. But there just isn't like a combined service for it, you know? Let's see here. Yeah, I love the awards. It's nice to see developers getting recognized for their hard work. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. You know, a lot of my criticisms of the Game Awards over the years, it has always been centered on the awards themselves. There's things like I feel all of the esports awards should almost be like its own show. And that isn't because I don't think the esports should be part of the Game Awards. It's not that I'm trying to minimize esports. I'm not. But I think there's so many awards just for esports, which is wonderful, that it kind of deserves its own event. So I feel like that the Game Awards should basically be like a 2-day event. The first night is esports focused. The second night is the rest of the industry. That's my, maybe esports and creator, like they always have a creator of the year or whatever. Like, so like esports and creators, like that first day, the actual like, console, PC, all that kind of stuff is the next day. That's my personal desire. But yeah, usually my criticism centers around them not giving proper attention to each award. Because every year there's always like a rattle off of like 4 or 5 awards in a row that just get rattled off rapid fire, and it's like action game, strategy game, horror game of the year, all of them fired off in the span of like 30 seconds. And it's like those are kind of like big deals to people who are really into those genres. Like we should be giving them more time. And the thing is, the show's already super long, and that's why I feel it should be split up, because the show is really long. It is an issue for the Game Awards when it ends up going 3, 4, 5 hours. Like, yeah, it's a really long show, so it should get split up over 2 nights. My personal, I've told Jeff Keighley this behind the scenes that he should split it up and do 2 nights. And I know it's crazy to run 2 nights of it and super expensive and a whole bunch of logistic things that make it hard. But for viewers, it's better to break it up into chunks. And then you could give all the awards their proper time. Get people on stage, Let's see. Plus, he could end up scheduling more musical performances and stuff. Does Nintendo have one last thing for a great year to be one of the best? I mean, they're not going to have any new games coming this year. They've already got other cards on the table for this year. So anything they show off that's new will be for next year. Let's see here. Which SNES or NES games do you think need to come to Nintendo Switch Online? Home Alone. Basically a lot of licensed games. Because back in those days, licensed games were actually pretty good. So, like, I want to see a lot of the licensed games come over. But those are also the hardest games to get over. Super Mario RPG. Scottish here. God, I can't do a Scottish accent. I don't know. I'm not very good with accents in general. The only reason I can even do like the vodka is because the Russian, like every villain in movies these days is like Russian. So you just hear that deep, accent all the time. And in particular, some reason the word vodka is just like I struggle to even say vodka like normally. For some reason that it just automatically comes to me as vodka. What, honey? Oh my God! Can we not talk about Alzheimer's? Damn it! Yulia's in the other room reminding me other things I pronounce incorrectly. There's a lot of things I pronounce incorrectly. For someone who, like, I was in acting, guys, and musicals and all this stuff, I'm not very good at pronouncing words. I've given, like, speeches. I think people like my personality, but I suck at words. I'm not what you would call a wordsmith. I know a lot of words. Yeah. Probably done here in like 20 minutes. What? The clock has started. Yeah, she does keep me on a clock. If I tell her 20 minutes and it's like literally 20 minutes and 30 seconds, which is just the time for me to walk from up there from here to upstairs, she'll be like, she doesn't actually. Well, she doesn't actually hit me, but that's her saying, "Hey, I want you to come to bed. We'll probably watch a movie or something." Wii Sports or updated content in same form. What? I'm confused. Clarify that. Or maybe I'm just misunderstanding it. Where is Zelda going to go after Breath of the Wild? There's always room for improvement. You'll see it in Breath of the Wild too. It's been fun. You've been up since 5 a.m. Yeah, go get some sleep, Matthew. Thank you, as always, for being at most of my streams and obviously being one of the members of the board of directors of Nintendo Prime. I appreciate it. If you like me, you can't keep a steady beat. What? Did you see the 30-point buck? No, I don't watch the news. I watch video game news. I don't watch actual news. Local news, national news. Cool. So there was a 30-point bucket probably in the news. I don't deer hunt. I don't even like venison. Don't care. Oh, like Wii Sports 2. So they had Wii Sports Resort. That was like Wii Sports 2. They also did that really weird Wii Sports service thing on Wii U. That was really weird what they did with it on Wii U, and I'm kind of surprised we haven't seen it come back. I can understand like it not coming back with the brand Wii because that was so specific to obviously those systems, but like rebrand it to like Nintendo Sports or something, right? Or if that doesn't have a good ring to them, just come up with some other name. Like the whole reason we don't have Wii Fit and instead it's Ring Fit is because Wii was so specific to the consoles of that time period. So I don't think there'll ever be like a Wii Sports 3 or anything. But can there be another sports game from Nintendo? Yes, just like there was a workout game. It's just a matter of what they're going to do, what they're going to call it, all that jazz. But it won't be like exactly the same as what the old ones used to be. Just like Ring Fit is not exactly the same as Wii Fit, even though both games are exercise games. See here. Carlos Morales says Zelda can go the Souls direction as far as graphics. So, yeah. So you're not talking about the actual world and story. You're just talking about visually being a dark, gritty, realistic thing. I can tell you right now, they're never going to do that. Zelda will never go in that gritty, realistic direction ever. I'll tell you the number one reason why it'll never happen. ESRB. They don't want Zelda to ever be rated above T for teen. Ever. And the more gritty and realistic the game looks, the higher the rating is going to go. They would ideally like every Zelda game to be E10+. They have no interest in gritty hyper-realism with Zelda. The closest they ever got was Twilight Princess, and notice how they haven't really done that again. It got rated T for teen. They have no inkling to ever go in that direction with this franchise. They want to make sure as many gamers as possible can play it, from kids to adults. That's Nintendo's MO, by the way, with all their games. The closest to gritty realism has been Metroid. Nintendo, if you notice with all of their IPs, there's no such thing as gritty realism. Because that limits the scope of the game's target audience. They literally want every game they make to be for everybody. And it can't be if the ESRB comes and slaps M ratings on their game. Nate, my man, have a great rest of your stream. You're very informative. I do appreciate you answering my questions. No problem, man. Me sports. Me's are barely around, so I don't even know they do that. Zelda could go underground, Tony Hawk did. Zelda's already going underground. Are you a Splatoon fan? Duh. Will you be doing some Splatoon 3 matches? Yeah, I'll be doing Splatoon 3 streams. Duh. But then again, you know, I got to remember that a lot of you guys might not have been around back in 2018 when I was doing a shitload of Splatoon 2 streams. Yeah, I'll be doing a bunch of Splatoon, and I'll probably have like a stream a week or something for a while of doing Splatoon 3. Definitely at launch for sure. Let's see here. Breath of the Wild 2 trailer looked dark to you. There is dark moments in Zelda games, but the overall feeling of the game is never that. Does that make sense? Like, yes, there'll be some dark moments, but that won't be the overall feeling. And you could tell that last Breath of the Wild 2 trailer. Dark moments, but that's not the overall feeling of the trailer. Let's see here. I know this is a gritty, not realistic. Unfortunately, gritty kind of goes hand in hand with realism because you can't really get gritty without making it realistic. Now, if you give me an example of a game that you find is gritty but doesn't have realistic art style, I'm like serious. Tell me a game that's gritty that isn't using a realistic art style. Dark Souls is using a realistic art style. And every game I can think of that has a gritty aesthetic to it is a realistic art style. So if you can give me an example of a gritty game that's not realistic and not rated M, by the way. Sweet, you're looking forward to Splatoon 3. You have 500 hours in Splatoon 2. You love Salmon Run? Nice. That's another word I mispronounce all the time. I always pronounce the L. Salmon. You like Salmon Run? I know it's salmon. I hate the English language, especially the American version of it. It's all these silent letters, and I'm always like, so we have silent letters. Then just get rid of the letter. Just call it SAMON. Salmon. Why do we have the L at all? The L is irrelevant to the word. Dump it. Get rid of it. Why? Don't put especially in American English, we're always eliminating, like in color, right? The original color word has a U in it. Well, in America, we decided we don't need the damn U. So we got rid of it. So it's just COLOR, but that's not how it's spelled in the original English language. So then why are we keeping in all these silent letters? Get rid of them. We don't need them. They just confuse people. Because, like, how do we learn how to read? We learn how to read by sounding out words. But how can we sound out words that have literal letters you're supposed to ignore? And by the way, this is in every language. A lot of languages have letters you ignore. Screw that. Just don't have the letters. Can someone explain to me why we have to have silent letters? What is the point of silent letters? They literally do nothing. They're pointless. Let's see here. So, Carlos Morales, yeah, I'm looking at your examples. You meant Twilight Princess with a little bit of Breath of the Wild. But Twilight Princess isn't gritty. I don't consider that a gritty game. It's a game that's aiming for a more realistic art style. But I don't really view that as gritty. When you talk about the Unreal Engine remakes of Ocarina of Time, again, all the Unreal Engine remakes of Ocarina of Time are going for hyper realism. Now, yeah, the Link character model is usually more stylish because it's trying to stick to the original Ocarina of Time style, but the actual world and everything around it is hyper realistic. That's why people like those Unreal Engine like fan makes of Zelda stuff, because it's hyper realistic. So they're not going to do that. No, they're never going to do that. Breath of the Wild is literally as close as like the style of Breath of the Wild is basically the evolution of what those other art styles were in a more friendly way. That's the direction Zelda goes. We like that. That's just it. That like we already like what Breath of the Wild looks like is essentially a culmination of every art style that Zelda's ever had. Like this is just what you should be expecting moving forward. Let's see here. Nintendo owns Eternal Darkness. That's because your accents pronounced it differently and think it's redundant. The U is actually very soft in pronouncing. But see, as an example, the word pronouncing has a U. Without the U, it wouldn't be pronouncing. It would be prononing. Or what? Pronouncing is how you would end up saying that word. Without the U there, it goes NOM, which is non. So it'd be pronouncing. And that's not correct. The U changes entirely how you say that, so it's not actually silent. But the U doesn't change how you say color. Maybe it does in Great Britain. Maybe they don't say color. Maybe they say color. I have no idea. But here we say color. And by the way, that's just like one example. There's a billion examples of silent letters. That wasn't even the main example we were talking about. But John. Silent letters are important to change the sound of other letters. But they don't. They don't actually change the sound. That's the kind of like the point. They don't actually do that. Every word that you pronounce that has a silent letter that you're supposed to pretend that letter's not there, is not involved in how you pronounce that letter at all. It doesn't change anything. I'm like dead serious. You're gonna probably find some examples that you're gonna be like, oh, but this word. I'm sorry. Go bring up every single word in the American English language that has silent letters, and you go ahead and try to convince me that even 50% of those, the pronunciation is different because of the silent letter. Would you expect another Pokemon Mystery Dungeon game eventually? You just finished Paper Mario Origami King, liked the story so much, got bored with the ring battles after a while. I get that. Yes, but in the UK, opinion hasn't mattered to US since. Oh my god, let's not even get into all that. How about every word with a silent E at the end? Wine versus win. So, that's a good example, John. My argument in wine versus win is that the E isn't actually silent. When the silent letter changes how the word is actually pronounced, then the E isn't actually silent. If you think about it, like wine. It's weird how we spell it, right? W-I-N-E. The E makes us pronounce the I completely different. But if you also think about the way that we pronounce E, there's the S sound, there's the long E sound. Okay, so we go wine. It almost sounds like it's W-I-E-N. It's really weird too with E's because we put them at the end of the word, but then we actually take the pronunciation of the E and we actually stick it in the middle of the word. Like it's so weird. Again, the American language, like English in general, is just a very strange language, but the E to me is technically getting pronounced. We're just pronouncing it in a different part of the word. It's so, I don't know, man. The English language is like one of the easiest languages to learn how to speak and read, but like the hardest language to like understand it 100% why things are the way they are. To me, that again, this is all like personal preference, by the way, and how I view it. My viewpoint is the E isn't actually silent. It's just being pronounced at a different section of the word. And that's why we change how it sounds. It's so stupid. It's just dumb. I think the English language in general is just dumb. But that's the language I grew up with. That's the only language I really know that well. So, and even then, do I really know it that well? Nathaniel Rumpel Jams. That's not my name. Let me say it slower because I know, like, oh, I'm Nathaniel Rumpel Jams. Like, it all kind of mumbles together. I understand. It's a long name. My full name is Nathaniel, and it's I-A-L, not I-E-L. I didn't choose that spelling. That was my parents'. So it's a non-common spelling of Nathaniel. So it's Nathaniel. My middle name is David. That's like the easiest part of my whole name, David. But like, who says their middle name? And then my last name is Rumful. So like full of rum, full, and it's a P-H-O-L, not a F-U-L. So Rumful, and then it's actually hyphenated, but you don't pronounce a hyphen. And then Jance. And it's a weird one because it's J-A-N-C, and a lot of people think it's J-A-N-C-E. It's not. So it's Nathaniel David Rumful Jance. But I usually say it so quickly that it mumbles together. Because if you try to say Rumful Jance really quick, like it just mumbles together. It doesn't really roll off the tongue cleanly. Literally nobody pronounces it right either. I'm the only Rumful Jance in the entire world. Because it's a combination of last names of different sections of my family. So, like, I'm literally the only one in existence. I'm not the only one with hyphenated name, but I'm the only one that's a Rumpeljanz. Like, literally, it does not exist anywhere else. I am one of one. My children don't even have my last name. They have the Jance part of my last name. That's something we chose. My last name, Rumpeljanz, is only applied to me. So, French? I know a little bit of French. Why do I even still know a little bit of French? It's been a long time since I've used it. Man, maybe I forgot. I've taken French class. Oh, man. I'd have to go back and look at some of my old notebooks. See if I could still read some of it. 2 minutes ago. Some people think Nathaniel can also be Nathaniel. But the E is part of the pronunciation. I don't know why you would. I don't know. Born and raised in Wisconsin. Still in Wisconsin. I've been other places, but I currently live in Wisconsin. It's where all my family's at, so. Plus, I like the 4 seasons. I like having all 4 seasons. I do wish the winters were a little bit shorter, like shorten it up by like 3 weeks, and that are. I think I don't know, man. Fall's like I'm like, oh, shorten that up and then add 3 weeks to fall. I love fall. Fall's my favorite season. The colors and the weather to me, like I like the weather when you go outside with like a hoodie. I like that kind of weather. I know a lot of people like they come to our fall in Wisconsin if you're not used to it, and you'll be like, "Oh my god, I need like a winter jacket for it. It's 55 degrees out. Oh my god, I'm like, oh, that's like still shorts weather for me." But I know it's all about what you're used to and what you grew up around. So like if you're used to like, desert heat where it's 100 plus degrees all the time, and then you come here and it's 50 degrees colder than that, to you that's like, oh my god, it's so freaking cold. And to us it's like, I can wear a short and t-shirt outside and be totally comfortable in 55, no problem. But I kind of like that weather where as it gets in the night, it's like perfect bonfire weather and wearing, hoodies and I don't know. You make it sound like you're in some other country or something. No, I'm just in the state of Wisconsin. Wow. Okay. All right. Well, I've hit my 20 minutes that I told Yulia, so it is time. It is time for me to head out. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. We ended up, I don't even know, they changed something on YouTube a while ago. It's really bad with keeping track of Super Chats. So let me just go to Streamlabs quick and shout out all of the Super Chats we had today. I think there was 3. So let me see here. Ooh, let's see. We had a $5 Super Chat by Justin Basil. We had another $5 Super Chat by Phantom Foolery. And another $5 Super Chat by Aaron Curdy. Actually, I kind of want to finish this Cerveza off here. So, let's see if this is going to work. Basically, I'm trying to Super Chat myself quick so I can finish the Cerveza. You guys know I don't cheat my system. Even I pay for it. Even though I don't have to. Ah! All right, there it is. Cheers. All right, later, guys. Paul Gale Network. A little quick one for you. All right, man. Thanks for popping in. Thanks for the $2 Super Chat. Stream's over, though. You guys have a good night. Catch you later, man.